So that's about it from last weekend. Let's start to look forward to the weekend. Let's go into our preview for the weekend. And we're going to be predicting three interesting games. Everton up against Manchester United. That's one of them. Brighton, who almost in some way, they pushed Liverpool all the way, got a 3-3 draw at Anfield. That the kind of results that last season you will not even think of. And that it tells you how poor Liverpool's season has started. And away from that, of course, the little business of Arsenal going up against Liverpool. Let me just run through all the Premier League fixtures for this weekend. That's the fixtures in the Premier League. AFC Bournemouth will take on Leicester City at 3 o'clock tomorrow. That's Saturday. And Chelsea will also be battling with Wolverhampton Wanderers at 3 o'clock. By the way, Neto is out for. He's not going to be going to the World Cup. He's going to be out for a few weeks or months. He's got an injury, so that's a huge loss for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Manchester City, who were in rampaging form last weekend, having two players score hat-tricks. They are at home to Southampton. This weekend, Newcastle United, who totally annihilated Fulham, are going to be at home to Brentford, while Tottenham Hotspur, reeling from that defeat to Arsenal, will want to respond immediately as they go up against Brighton and Hove Albion, who looked very, very exciting in that game against Liverpool. And if anything is to go back, Tottenham Hotspur don't want to sit back and defend against this Brighton side. On Sunday, Crystal Palace will take on Leeds United. West Ham will be at home to misfiring Fulham. Liverpool will go away at Arsenal, and Manchester United will be away at Everton. While on Monday, Nottingham Forest will take on Aston Villa. But guys, let us start off this one with Everton, Manchester United. And I'm going to start with you, Festus. Let's start with you on this one. Everton, Manchester United. Everton in recent weeks have looked a bit more consistent than and they've been in a while. They've not lost in their last 5. They've drawn 3 and won 2. Manchester United on their part, they've won 3 and lost 2. And it's the story of where both sides have been. United, though, are sitting 7th in the Premier League table. Everton are in 8th. And that man, Festus Iwobi, all of a sudden, it's like he's come alive again and he's playing some good football.
I don't know what I take this back because there about 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago, I totally shredded Iwobi. I want to apologize to him because I felt he wasn't mature enough to marshal the midfield of a team like Everton, and he has totally
but that's what he's doing right now.
Yes, clearly he is, and he's doing it well. He's piling up assist upon assist, and he's changing the midfield of Everton. I'm so surprised he has woken up. Lampard has finally reading in the midfield. Suddenly Everton is looking different. They're looking like a team, a solid team. A team clearly that if you're playing, you need to prepare. Unlike last season or other times, Everton was like anybody comes, home and away, you get your 3 points, you move on. But right now,
they were doing promo.
Yeah, they were giving it out for fun. But right now, if you're going to beat Everton, you must work for it. He has been able to understand that team, and I think at this point they are playing for him and they understand him and they are following up to his instructions. I think his main strength now at this point is the midfield. He will be marshalling that midfield, and they are enjoying their football at this point because the pressure is off them at this point in time. They were under immense pressure last season. This season, I don't think there is so much expectation from them. Everybody just expect them stay at the Premiership. I think that's just what is expected from them. No ambition, nothing. And with that, the pressure is off them, and they're really playing exciting football. They're going out there, even away, getting results, winning. So for this match, I don't know. Man U want to come back, and they did well against in the Europa League. They won away. I think the confidence is back. I see a draw in this match. I see the match ending draw. I don't think Everton will win Man U, and I think Man U want to make a statement by coming back from that long.
Yeah, coming back from that.
They will want to bounce back. So I see that match ending draw, and I see a score draw, like a 1-1 draw.
Eddie, if you look at that game, if you look at that Everton side, one of the things they've added to their game is a lot of aggression. Last season, like Festus pointed out, a lot of people ran over their midfield, But now Iwobi is playing more centrally. He's creating the assists. He's controlling the pace of the game, the tempo of the game. And you would expect him to do the same thing against Manchester United. But then remember, United have a certain Christian Eriksen. But if you look at United on Thursday in the Europa League game, I'm sure you asked yourself, how did Arsenal lose to these guys? Because the midfield were totally outrun. They were not there. Thank God for players like Rashford, who on the fast break, Rashford is the man he wants with the ball at his feet because he can run. He's got a bit of pace to run, and that was how he got 2 goals for Manchester United. But with this kind of aging midfield, how do you see them? What are the battles you see against Everton? And then your prediction afterwards.
Yeah, so I think Everton have come a long way. The return of Idrissa Gueye, back to Everton, has really, really strengthened that midfield. So you have him, almost like, that general in the middle of the pack, and Onana as well. Both of them are working very, very well together. So, if I look at that midfield and I compare that with Manchester United midfield with Christian Eriksen, with Tom McTominay, I look at that and actually give Everton the edge, especially they are playing at, Goodison Park, in this game. So I think the crowd is going to be behind them, and, Everton are going to want to make this game very, very difficult. Dwight McNeil, has really, really impressed me, for Everton. He's a young guy, came from Burnley, to Everton. And actually this season, he's actually been doing a lot of the creativity, working with Iwobi in that middle of the park. He scored the goal in their last outing. So I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking to myself, this is going to be a very, very difficult game for Manchester United because Everton have definitely got the players, to cause them a lot of problems. Everton will want to run at them with the ball. And being at home, I consider, this to be, one of those games where the crowd is going to lift at them. So whoever scores the first goal in this game could be actually very, very critical because United are suffering from obviously the defeat to Man City, and you could see that they were still lingering that in the European competition, this weekend, just a couple of days ago. So I fully expect, Everton to actually cause them problems. So I'm going to predict a 2-1 score, to Everton. So Everton is the very difficult ground, for them to go. So I think Lampard will be saying that to the players. Say, listen, United might be anything in Old Trafford, but when they come to Goodison Park, we'll play them on our own terms. This is our ground, and we'll make this game very difficult. So I see a 2-1 goal line. I see Anthony scoring, and maybe Dwight McNeil scoring another goal as well.
Yeah, so last 3 times you guys have played, Everton have won 1 and drawn 2. They enjoy themselves when they play against United. No matter how well United is playing, they enjoy themselves. And that's why I want to agree that maybe it's probably going to end in a draw. So I think the game is going to end in a draw. Right?
Draw. All right. Let's have your scoreline.
A draw.
Draw what? 1-1, 3-3.
A draw.
A 2-2 score.
It's going to be a draw, but it's going to be a score draw. It's not going to be goalless. It's going to be a score draw. But I think it's going to end in a draw. I'm expecting Ten Hag to go back to the team that played against that I played against City in that one. But then I'm suspecting my want to remove somebody for Casemiro to start. And I think that's going to be the biggest problem they will have, because Casemiro, for all the good he does, he's not as quick as he used to be anymore. And his pockets can easily be picked. Iwobi is looking dangerous, looking talented. The United defense have to pay attention to him. Idrissa Gueye is going to definitely sit on Eriksen. Don't allow him to spray those passes, because he knows how to find Sancho, Anthony, or Rashford with those long balls. And once he releases them, a player like what's his name, Rashford, is gone. And that's something they won't want to happen. So I see a score draw in this game. All right, away from that one, the big business, Arsenal versus Liverpool. Can Arsenal get the job done against Liverpool?
Every game that Arsenal plays against a big team is a test. This is going to be the code word now for every time Arsenal plays. Well, who have they played? This is going to be the big test for Arsenal. Arsenal play Liverpool is the big test. Play Spurs is the big test. Play City is the big test. So, this is going to be another test. But I'm fully very confident. I was talking to, Face earlier on. I think there were things that I was looking for in that Tottenham game that I actually saw. I saw the way that we started the game, with the right kind of aggression, with the right kind of attitude, starting, and we took advantage, of our quick start. And I look at the matchups, again, these are the things that I always look at in games, and I love, the way that we are going to be set up in this game. And it'll be interesting to know that in the last 2 seasons, we've never really played Liverpool with a full strength team. When we lost, 4-0, to Liverpool, we had Sambi in the middle of the park. Odegaard didn't even start that game.
Xhaka was playing on the left.
Exactly. Mendes was in the team. We had Aubameyang and Lacazette, misfiring. So I kind of look at that. And then when we again lost to them, subsequently, again, we didn't have our full strength pitch. So for me, I feel like this is the first game in a long while that we can actually go into that game with the strongest squad. And I feel very, very confident in what we can do. I feel like the matchup between Martinelli and Trent. Trent is not going to win the man of the match as he did against us when they beat us 4-0. I think he's going
to be very busy.
He's definitely going to be busy in that game. But I also look at that middle, Matip and Van Dijk. I think Jesus is going to occupy them. They're going to be worried about him, and he's going to be dragging them out of that defensive shape. So looking at that lineup, I am going for a 3-1 scoreline to Arsenal, against Liverpool. That's how confident I am at home, for this game. I think this is going to be one of those games that, we every time we play Liverpool, I feel like we are taking notes. And before the red card, against them last season, we're actually dominating that game.
Yeah.
And, the dark arts, of Liverpool, we lost our heads, and we got a man sent of, and then, we can't play Liverpool with, 11 men, much less 10. So, with that being said, I'm looking for us to have a very good victory against Liverpool on Sunday.
For me, I think Super Sunday will present an ideal situation for Arsenal to show that they are the real deal. They are here to compete. Kali, why are you laughing?
Why are you saying it as if you are trying to convince yourself?
Yes, I am so. This is the first time, like Eddie said, this is the first time in a while that we'll be going into a Liverpool match, and I'm confident.
Full strength.
And I'm confident that we can actually win this match. It has never been this for a very long time. I don't think we've had this level of confidence, really. Again, once we see the match Liverpool, we discount that 3 points. It's gone. So at this point, like you said, the battle lines will be drawn. I see three key battle lines. One, the joy in the midfield. Odegaard is clearly in the form of his life. I see him having so much joy in that midfield, especially the aging midfield of Liverpool. Odegaard is going to dominate that midfield, and that is where the battle will be won, because the way Liverpool plays, they thrive on the counter, the midfield supplying the flanks and their runners, who is the Salah and those guys, So if that midfield, and with the way Partey is clearly fit, I think he's fit. I have not heard any news of any injury during the break, and he didn't play during the midweek. So I think they are preserving him for this match. He's fit. Xhaka is still in form, still clicking, playing very well. So I think the midfield is where that battle will be won, and clearly we were going to dominate that midfield. Then secondly, the second battle line will be clearly Martinelli and Trent, which I think, like if you notice the last match they won, Trent was under pressure. Martinelli was winning that battle before that red card and before the whole incident happened and everything turned on his head. So I see him being busy also, and that is another battle line, which I think Martinelli will dominate that battle. And thirdly is Gabriel Jesus and Van Dijk. Jesus is going to win also. Van Dijk has not been informed this season. He has been lazy. I don't know what's wrong with him. He's not, I want to say he's not fit, because the very agile Van Dijk we know this season has been very lazy. And I think with what we see in Jesus, the fastness, the quick feet, I think we're going to see a whole lot of penalties from what I see, and the kind of pressure Jesus is going to put on Van Dijk. So those are the three places those battle is going to be. The battle will be fought, and I think Arsenal will win those battles. And at the end of the day, Arsenal will thrive against Liverpool on Sunday. So I'm giving this match also because Arsenal will always want to concede. So I want to put it at 3-1 also.
All right, 3-1. I hear you. I think I don't know why I just keep feeling like Arsenal is going to win this game and keep a clean sheet. I don't know why that keeps ringing in my head.
But we like giving opponents something. Take.
Well, but so the one of the biggest facts about this game, and both of you alluded to it, Arsenal is going into this for the first time in a long time with their full first 11. Partey is there. His feet was just kept out of the team just to go and rest his leg, and all of that. Xhaka, we saw Xhaka now doesn't ever get injured, he's just always there. Zinchenko was also allowed to go and rest. He was just coming back from a thigh injury. Saliba also got his well-deserved rest. In the last round, it was Gabriel that got a rest. Saliba played. Now it's Saliba who's got an arrest. Gabriel played, and it's good to see Tomiyasu coming into the side and putting in a shift as well. But Martinelli has a point to prove. He's the rush of blood to his head. I think was one of the things that cost us that game the last time out. And I know he's going to want to come and prove a point. Trent has not been in good form. The entire Liverpool side has not been in good form. Salah is not firing on all cylinder. Luis Diaz, the only shining star or shining light in that side. Darwin Núñez can't seem to buy a goal. Firmino, just keep huffing and puffing. We can't see the end product. But the biggest problem they have is in the middle. Thiago Alcantara is just coming back from injury. Is a shadow of himself. Fabinho is absent. Anderson is not doing the job. Milner has been tried. Milner is aging. And I think Arsenal, the youthfulness, the intensity of their play, the pace in midfield, and that ability to press higher might just be something that Liverpool might find too difficult to handle. And I'm saying, I'm looking at that game. I won't be surprised if in the first 45 minutes the game has been put to rest. But I'm thinking Arsenal will win this one, maybe by 2-1. Maybe by 2-1. Right? That's just what I'm thinking. But I also won't be shocked if we see Arsenal winning this one and keeping a clean sheet. Our final prediction for the weekend: Brighton and Hove Albion. going up against Tottenham Hotspur. Brighton, we saw what he did against Liverpool. The new manager, apparently there's a way he wants the team to play. He wants them to be on the front foot, not just sitting back and absorbing pressure. And Tottenham Hotspur, we know they've not played so superbly well this season, but they've been able to find the results. Against Chelsea, they were second best. Somehow they got the result. I can count about 2 other games that I've seen them play. They were second best, but they got the result. Against Arsenal, they couldn't find that miracle. Arsenal totally outplayed them. But this Brighton side, with the new lease of life, the new breath of fresh air in the side, the new manager, and the way some of the players were so all in the faces of Liverpool in that game, I'm thinking to myself that the most that Liverpool, Tottenham will get from this game is a draw. That's the most I'm thinking. That's my prediction for the Brighton Tottenham Hotspur game. I think it's going to end in a draw, a score draw, by the way.
Yeah, I agree with you. Brighton are a very resilient side, and I think when you have a stable midfield, it does a lot to help how you want to go out and play match after match. And when you look at that, Brighton midfield, you see that, someone like Moses Caicedo, has been a permanent stay, for them in that midfield. And he's played pretty much, almost every single game. And so that allows continuity. The team know what they can do with each other. I mean, you look at that Brighton team and you say, well, who's the superstar, in that team? And you might be hard pressed to actually pick one particular player and say, what, this is going to be your danger man. This is the person that you want to focus on. But as a team, collectively, they know their jobs and they do their jobs very, very well. If it's not Trossard that is coming up with the goal, it's Pascal Grobe. Solid match in that midfield. Also a very, very confident player. And you can see that they have a pattern. Everybody always talks about this is our Liverpool way, the Manchester United way. Brighton could be, said they've got their own way of playing football, not afraid, being bold on the ball, going forward and trying to cause a lot of problems to the opposition team. So it's not a coincidence that they are where they are at the table. Now, every season, there's always that team that surprises us in the Premier League, that, flies out of the box and everybody's like, no, we did not see this coming. And I think Brighton is going to be that team, this season, that people are going to keep underestimating them and they will keep piling the results in, So I'm going to go, with a 2-1 victory for Brighton in this game. Brighton are playing at home, and if Spurs are thinking that they're going to play in that style where they just go sit back and try and hit people, on the counter attack. I feel like hopefully after that Arsenal game, that should make Conte, start to rethink his strategy. If you remember, a couple of seasons ago when he was in the league, after he lost to Arsenal, he changed his formation and brought 5, to the back. So maybe this might actually start to think to himself, well, I've got attacking players, I should let them attack, rather than, exactly, rather than hold them back, but if he plays the way he's been playing with other teams, I expect Brighton to win this game 2-1.
For me, I know a whole lot of people will expect Tottenham to bounce back after that defeat, but I've been impressed with the new manager, De Zerbi, because everybody felt with Graham Potter's departure to Chelsea, the Brighton is going to collapse. Their way of football is going to change, and a whole lot of things are going to happen. But surprisingly, they've been daring, they've been playing very well, and it's as if nothing has happened, nothing has changed. Rather, they can even be more forceful, because I was so impressed with their match against Liverpool at Anfield, and clearly Eddie was saying you can't point a particular player. You can't point. Trossard is in the form of his life. That's his first hat trick. He's clearly scoring for fun. And even Pascal is back to form. He has always been there before, but he is back to form. So they are playing as a pack also, and also you can pick out 1 or 2 players that has been exceptional this season. And interestingly, the bookmakers are giving them about 35% chance of winning, which is rare when you compare to a Tottenham, Brighton before. And another interesting fact, Kali, you could imagine, the last 3 matches, Brighton has won 2 and lost just 1 against Tottenham. So you could imagine, nobody expected this. The last 3 matches, they won 2. Yeah, they won 2 out of the last 3 matches with Tottenham. So you could say that it has not been easy for Tottenham against them. And they've been consistent over the year. Last season was 9th position. This season, I think they're on 4th or 5th now, if I'm not mistaken. So they've been consistent. They've been there. They've been a very difficult team to beat. And for you to beat Brighton, you really need to work your magic and you need to be on top of your game. So it's not going to be easy for Spurs in this match. And with Femi's analogy of head and heart, I don't know, but I think for this match, I want to edge it for Brighton, and I want to stay on 2-1 also.
Awesome. Stay on 2-1. So that's our prediction. That's our analysis of games to come this weekend.